Hi, I'm Jan Shagda with Clarity Coaching. I work with individuals and groups to be at their personal best with coaching and assessments. And today we're talking about Enneagram Style 9, the Peacemaker, and spiritual development. We'll talk about the same 4 areas we discussed in all the videos, so let's jump right in and get started. So first, the social style for Style 9. So 9s are in the withdrawn triad along with 4s and 5s. And this means that the dominant way that they experience the world and address the world is a withdrawn style. So the positive side of this style is it allows them to be in a situation, take at least mentally a step back and remove themselves from that situation to analyze it, understand it, and then come up with a solution about how to move forward. So a little bit slower processing time, but usually a more thoughtful solution. So the downside of this is if you think about it, if you're taking yourself out of a situation, you're almost removing yourself from your body and from that physical moment. And so it creates kind of a disconnection from the physical body to have more of a withdrawn style. So how to engage this spiritually, just like with 4s and 5s, same advice, is to integrate the body in any of your spiritual practices. So some easy ways to do this: use any of the prayer postures from these videos. That's a great way to engage a withdrawn style. You can do any kind of mind-body exercises, meditation, yoga, something that's integrating the body and movement with more of a spiritual practice. Prayer while running or walking. And really, if you just think of any of your favorite spiritual practices, figure out a way creatively for you to integrate your physical body into that practice and try it out. So that's the social style. Let's talk about the center. So 9s are in the gut center along with 8s and 1s, which means that versus thinking or feeling, which are the other 2 centers, the head and heart center, gut center individuals experience the world more on a gut level. They have more of an instinct or a gut feeling about what the right way is to go, and that's just kind of how everything in the world hits them. So the positive of that is they're very physically grounded, usually, and they're almost, if you can imagine them being connected to the physical world, to the physical earth, which means they're kind of standing in the middle between action and inaction, kind of those opposing forces in the physical earth. So what helps them develop, because they're gut center people, is really just to have a sense of being, of release, of not having to stand in the gap between those 2 opposing forces, just allowing things to be as they are. So a way to engage this practice is just find a place to be alone and be quiet, whether that's in your home or outside, and focus on not processing anything, not thinking, not feeling, not doing anything, but just being there and being present to the moment. A special note on this for 9s. 9s have an uncanny ability to be physically somewhere but be mentally removed. So that's something that you need to watch out for, 9s, with this exercise, is being present in the moment, not off daydreaming about something else, but really focused and centered on that moment that you're in. And you know that you're doing this right. I mean, it can be kind of a challenge because literally the exercise is to do nothing. So how do you know if you're doing it effectively? You'll know in terms of how it affects you. So if you feel more alive, more engaged, more connected after you do this, then you're doing it correctly, and safe to say that there's been some spiritual benefit and God's connected with you there. Okay, so let's talk about the spiritual discipline for 9s, which is study. So study doesn't necessarily mean going deeper into a text. Study just means engaging at a deeper level those things maybe that typically you avoid. So 9s tend to be more creature of habit than other types. And so they tend to get into their rhythms of what they like, and this includes their spiritual life. So study doesn't mean go deeper in the things that you already like necessarily, although you can do that, and I'm sure it would have some benefit. However, it's more about those areas that you're not as prone to engage and going on a deeper level with them. So let's say yoga is your thing and you really like combining that with prayer, the connection to your body and the connection with God. Going deeper into yoga is something that's going to come more naturally to you, but maybe what you need to do is go deeper into the theory of yoga, or something that could be related, but a way that you wouldn't typically engage it. But basically, it should be going deeper in an area that isn't already something you're engaging on a regular basis. So a new way to experience God, essentially. Okay, and then the prayer posture for Style 9 is action, one hand up and one hand channeled into the earth, touching the ground. And the idea is praying to God, receiving energy, and that moving through you being kind of a channel for that moving into the world. Nines often have a lot of wonderful ideas and ideals about the world and about life and about the spiritual life, but moving them into action is usually more of the challenge. So that's why the prayer posture is to enable you to move all of that energy and positivity and spiritual connection into the world. So that's spiritual development for nines. Thanks for joining us. See you next week for Enneagram Style 1, the Reformer. See you then.